Conservative Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett stunned veteran benchwatchers Friday with a blunt takedown of liberal Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson's extreme dissent in the landmark birthright citizenship case in which the Supreme Court curtailed lower court use of universal injunctions. "We will not dwell on Justice Jackson's argument, which is at odds with more than 2 centuries worth of precedent, not to mention the Constitution itself," wrote Barrett, the court's second newest justice, in a jaw-dropping rebuke of her colleague, the newest justice. "We observe only this. Justice Jackson decries an imperial executive while embracing an imperial judiciary." Barrett had authored the majority opinion in the case, the most consequential on the docket this term, which gave President Trump a major win by limiting the power of district judges to block his actions. Liberal Justice Sonia Sotomayor penned the main dissent for the left flank of the High Court, which Jackson joined. But Jackson also wrote a concurring dissent that featured a heavy fixation on the potential practical ramifications of the 6-3 decision, rather than grounding her argument in legal theory. It is not difficult to predict how this all ends. Eventually, executive power will become completely uncontainable, and our beloved constitutional republic will be no more, Jackson dramatically fretted at one point. Quite unlike a rule of kings governing system, in a rule of law regime, nearly every act of government may be challenged by an appeal to law, Jackson wrote elsewhere. "At the very least, I lament that the majority is so caught up in minutiae of the government's self-serving, finger-pointing arguments that it misses the plot." In other words, it is unnecessary to consider whether Congress has constrained the judiciary. What matters is how the judiciary may constrain the executive. Justice Jackson would do well to heed her own admonition. "Everyone from the president on down is bound by law," Barrett continued. "That goes for judges, too." Waving away attention to the limits on judicial power as a mind-numbingly technical query, she offers a vision of the judicial role that would make even the most ardent defender of judicial supremacy blush, Barrett wrote. Other commentators were more scathing. This is about as brutal as I've ever seen SCOTUS be on one of their own," attorney Costas Moros wrote on X in response to Barrett's imperial judiciary quote. Translated, "You are so stupid that you aren't even worth responding to."